First Railroads by Andrea Matthews. In 1830, the first railroad in the United States opened in Baltimore, and it had just 21 kilometers, 13 miles of track. Other railroad lines were built, mostly in the Northeast. Soon the East Coast was crisscrossed with train tracks, connecting cities. By the 1850s, railroads were changing cities. For example, in 1850, Chicago had 30,000 people and one railroad. By 1856, the city had 10 railroads, and by 1860, its population had tripled due to the rail system. The railroads affected everyday life and how people did business. Farmers shipped corn and wheat through Chicago by rail. Factories were built, and their products were shipped to customers via the railroad. Hotels sprang up for visiting business travelers. New housing was built for the additional workers. Suburbs grew up around areas where people used the railroads to commute to work. The first American steam locomotive, called the Tom Thumb, traveled at the speed of just 29 kilometers, 18 miles per hour. There wasn't much demand for railroads in the western U.S. at first, because not many people lived there. Then gold was discovered in California in 1848. People rushed there to strike it rich. They found a place that had great weather and fine soil. Word spread, and soon many more people moved there to farm or start businesses. To reach California, settlers had to cross the plains in covered wagons or sail around South America. Either way, the trip was expensive and it took 4 months or more. People wanted a better way to travel to the West. Also, farmers and business owners in the West needed a faster way to ship their goods east. Leaders began to talk about building a transcontinental railroad. By the 1860s, the idea of joining the eastern and western coasts by rail began to make sense. Before a railroad connected the east and west coasts, the trip across the country was slow, hard, and often dangerous. It is in our power to open an immense interior country to unite our eastern and western shores firmly together. Samuel Dexter, editor of The Western Emigrant, in 1832.